This is your primetime forecast for East Alabama and West Georgia from Dr. Don's Weather. Dr. Don's Weather is made possible by the Randolph County Commission, First Light Coffee, Roger Bell Auto Brokers, Southern Auction Solutions, Genesis Weight Clinic, Jimmy Stevens Construction, Anchor Roofing, the Town of Wadley, Auction 431 South, the Salem Auction House, and Bama Diesel Repair. From the Alpha Weather Center, powered by Boondocks Barbecue and Creamery, Southern Union State Community College, and the venue at 5 Points Farms. Here's Dr. Don.
Good morning, East Alabama and West Georgia. Dr. Don in here with you on your Tuesday morning, and this is your primetime forecast for Tuesday, August 6th, 2024 on Dr. Don's Weather. Southern Union State Community College in Opelika, Valley, and Wadley, proud sponsor of Dr. Don's Weather. We appreciate Southern Union. Also, get your ducks in a row with Jamie Dukas. Get in touch with Jamie at 256-831-7770. Jamie can show you how you can save money on your insurance, and in a lot of cases, he can increase your insurance coverage at the same time. Customer service is the name of the game with Jamie Dukas and Alpha Insurance. Let's talk about Debby. Debby is in that process of stalling across the Atlantic coast, and so we are looking at a very wet day across Savannah, Hilton Head, all the way up to Charleston, South Carolina, maybe even Myrtle Beach. It is going to be one of those days where travel in all of those areas I just mentioned are going to be highly discouraged. Now, so far, Savannah has fared fairly well through this whole thing. I mean, I can only find about 4 to 5 inches of rain total so far. Now, that's yesterday and so far today. We're looking at a dozen roads or so that have been closed in the Savannah area. Most of those are in just low-lying areas, so we haven't seen any massive residential flooding or anything like that so far in Savannah. However, today is going to tell the story as to whether or not we're going to see that 15 to 20, maybe even 30 inches of rain across the Savannah area. We'll show you on radar in just a few moments why I'm beginning to think maybe that's not going to be the case in Savannah, which is good news. But Charleston, South Carolina is in a bad spot this morning. We'll show all of that to you. You can see the track here on the screen, and the storm is just sitting, really the eye of the storm, or what's left of the eye of the storm, is sitting really close to Savannah, Georgia. So Savannah is in the dry slot at the moment. If it were to drop to the south at all, then Savannah could get back into the rain. But from Hilton Head all the way up to Charleston, it's just going to be shower after shower after shower all day long today. And then it goes out into the Atlantic by 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. By 2 a.m. Thursday morning, it's still out there in Atlantic. By 2 p.m. Thursday morning, it's sitting on top of Charleston, South Carolina. And by 2 a.m. Friday morning, it finally slowly begins to move to the north. And then by Saturday morning at 2 a.m., we get it up there in Northern Virginia. So the next 24 to 36 hours, the South Carolina coast is really going to be in trouble with what's left of Hurricane Debby. Now let's take a look at a couple of other things out there this morning. And we will start with the spaghetti track, and you can kind of see there that it's showing pretty much the same thing, though there are a dozen or so models that try to back it back into central and north Georgia. We're going to call those outliers at the moment. We're not really paying a lot of attention to that. We believe it will eventually go on up the Atlantic coast. Excessive rainfall for today. You can see that Savannah's not in that red bullseye anymore. We are still looking at maybe an additional 4 to 6 inches of rain in the Savannah area, but from just north of Hilton Head all the way up to Wilmington, we're talking 12 to 16 inches of rain. There may be a small area up there that's looking at 16 to 20 additional inches of rain on top of what we have already seen. Here is the latest satellite shot, and you can see that center of circulation, that broad open eye, is sitting right over Savannah. So at the moment, the Georgia southeastern coast is in a good place. There's no rain falling there right now. Now, the big question is, does the storm continue moving due east out into the Atlantic? If it does, then I think the southeast Georgia coast is going to be in pretty good shape. However, if it were to jog back to the southeast or maybe even back to the south a little bit and pull that rain back into Savannah, then we could still have problems. So I'm cautiously optimistic about Savannah, Tybee Island, Brunswick, Jekyll Island, St. Simon's at the moment. But if you're Hilton Head and north up there around Charleston, Myrtle Beach, all the way up to Wilmington, it is going to be an ugly day. We're talking copious amounts of rain and most certainly some coastal flooding across those regions of South Carolina and North Carolina. All right, let's look at the current conditions at the venue at 5 Points Farms in northeast Chambers County, Alabama. Currently 74 degrees. It feels like 75.4. The wind is out of the northwest, gusting at about 3. Humidity is 91%. The barometric pressure 29.93. Dew point 71. High temperature yesterday was 90.2 degrees. We currently have mostly fair skies. Sunrise at 5:59, and the sun sets this evening at 7:34 p.m. It is going to be a hot day across East Alabama and West Georgia. 92 in Carrollton, will hit 93 in Lineville. Lafayette will make it to 93. Rockford hits 95 this afternoon. Birmingham will make it to 96 degrees, and the hot spot on the map this morning will be Tallahassee. We'll make it to 97 degrees this afternoon. As is always the case in the wake of a hurricane or tropical storm, the weather really gets high and dry for several days, and that's what we're looking at across East Alabama and West Georgia. Not a mention of rain in the forecast all the way through Sunday. 93, 94, 95, maybe even up to 97, depending on where you are across the region today. With mostly sunny skies. Same on Wednesday. Temperatures will hang out in the mid-90s all the way through Sunday with no mention of rain in sight for East Alabama and West Georgia. Let's take a look at your Southern Union State Community College Live Doppler HD radar. And you can see what's going on this morning with what's left of Debby. She's still a tropical storm and probably will maintain that status because we believe this eye that's sitting over southeast Georgia will go back out into the Atlantic. So we think that Debby will at least maintain where she's at right now. But again, notice that we've just got some light rain showers there in Savannah, back out toward Tybee, and then some showers across the coastal regions of southeast Georgia. But the big heavy rains are up here to the north and actually coming into Charleston and just to the north of Charleston. The worst case scenario for Charleston would be for Debby just to go due east out into the Atlantic and then stop. Because that's setting up those outer feeder bands to train right over Charleston, South Carolina, throughout the remainder of today and probably into most of tomorrow as well. And then we have another feeder band that's setting up a little bit further north up around Myrtle Beach. Same thing happening there. We're just having storm after storm after storm move across that area. Wilmington, not too bad right now, but hang in there. Your opportunity is most likely coming with this storm. Even up there around Jacksonville, North Carolina, New Bern, out there out in the Outer Banks of North Carolina, all sitting poised to receive a tremendous amount of rain from Tropical Storm Debby. So right now, again, like I said a few moments ago, I'm optimistically encouraged about what I'm seeing across the Georgia coast and then down here in Florida too. Weather improving in Florida, no question there. So if Debby takes this track, and you'll see the official hurricane track on the board, I know it's real small, but maybe you can see that. If that is the eventual track of the storm, I think we're going to be okay here in Savannah. Again, 4, 5, 6 inches of rain, depending on where you're at in Savannah. So far with this storm, probably another 4 to 6 inches will be possible before all is said and done. But we're beginning to spread that out over days now instead of hours. And that is going to make a huge difference in that part of the country. So we may have dodged a huge bullet down here on the Georgia southeast coast. Time will certainly tell. Hope that you will head over to our weather store. There's the link on the screen, and support Dr. Don's weather. You can also go to the top of the video on YouTube, top of the video on Facebook, bottom of the video on YouTube. I'll get that straight one of these days. You'll find a clickable link where you can go over to our weather store and support Dr. Don's weather. We depend on your support to be able to continue to do this for East Alabama and West Georgia. And as you can see, over the last several days, we'll even cover anywhere in the southeastern United States if there's major weather occurring there. So support us if you can. If you own a business, if you're part of a civic organization, municipal or county government, and you'd like to be a partner with us, such as the town of Wadley and Randolph County, we'd love to have you. All you have to do is send me a message on Messenger, and I can tell you how to go about signing up, and we'll have you started before we do our next weather forecast, which, if the good Lord's willing and the creek don't rise, will happen first thing tomorrow morning right here on Dr. Don's Weather.
This has been your primetime forecast for East Alabama and West Georgia from the Alpha Weather Center, powered by Southern Union State Community College, the venue at 5 Points Farms and Boondocks Barbecue and Creamery. Dr. Don's Weather is supported by the Randolph County Commission, First Light Coffee, Roger Bell Auto Brokers, Southern Auction Solutions, Genesis Weight Clinic, Jimmy Stevens Construction, Anchor Roofing, the Town of Wadley, Auction 431 South, the Salem Auction House, and Bama Diesel Repair. Be sure to like us on Facebook, share us with all of your friends, and subscribe to Dr. Don's Weather on YouTube. We will be back tomorrow morning with another edition of your primetime forecast on Dr. Don's Weather.